I think they're very well aware of this, and that's one of the reasons why I think they put Duke in, is Duke has had good teleports for the team. Duke also does not take very many risks. So I feel like they're kind of covering their bases here. They don't want to, overextend in any sense of the word.
Now, last time we saw these two teams match up, Invictus Gaming actually heavily prioritized the Kai'Sa, and we know that Jaculov is actually a very talented Kai'Sa player, and when going back and watching how he plays, the thing that I find fascinating about him is how aggressively he plays on this champion. Level 1, he walked up to a Varus Tahm Kench and just throws out the Q, lands two orders, and he says, no, I don't care what this champion is supposed to do. I'm going to play it my way, and I'm going to get in your face. And tied back in with your point, Kobe, I think GRX need to take it away from him because of how confident he is on this champion.
All right, a lot of focus for us in that area. Currently, Alistar early banned by IG this time around, and the supports for setups for the bottom lane have been incredibly important. Along with Rakan following here, those are some of the go-to hard engage supports.
Now I'm expecting an Urgot first pick. It's something that PK actually had a lot of success with during the play-ins, and is something that I think is a very comfortable champion for him, but the risk is you give away Aatrox and Kai'Sa to the other side, so they're actually going to shift up their priority and go for more of the damage-dealing top lane.
All right, the Aatrox over the Urgot. That's something we've seen a lot out of the LCK top laners and their preference. We know GRX and the LMS players play a lot on that server. Let's see if Invictus opt into the Urgot matchup. It is hovered. I'm expecting it. And then, of course, the Kai'Sa would be the obvious answer. Now, let's see whether or not IG agree or throw us a curveball. And GRX now have to respond.
Yeah, this is kind of the expected response here from Invictus Gaming. The two most high priority champions that we have had throughout Worlds group stage. The Aatrox technically still could go to mid lane, so there is flexibility for GRX here. That's what you definitely want on the blue side to secure early. And Kai'Sa Xayah or Sivir have been the go-to into the Kai'Sa. Here it is picked up for Stitch. Definitely a respectable answer.
So in terms of what supports are available, GRX may look to grab themselves a Thresh right now, considered kind of one of the strong playmaking supports, and when you are running this Aatrox Xayah, having something that can provide with early game playmaking and a lane that you can look to play around, I think makes a lot of sense for GRX.
Yeah, we've definitely also seen the Dark Passage come in extremely clutch for a lot of these teams here, and you may need an extra escape for champions when playing against IG, who like to go for dives, like to go for some early skirmishing, try and pick people off. But there's the Tahm Kench, also incredibly good at the disengage and saving people.
I was just about to say the same thing. The Thresh and the Tahm Kench, both effective on the offense as they are on the defense, and Invictus Gaming enter phase 2 of the draft by removing another mid laner. So the LeBlanc taken off the table signals to me they're anticipating that Aatrox to go top. And of course, it's now going to be up to GRX to decide what options they want to limit. The jungle pool, relatively untouched. The Nocturne and the Gragas are, off the table. But there's still a number of options available for Empty and for Ning to play. Last time, of course, Ning Zac, very, very impressive to me.
With LeBlanc and Lissandra already banned here, I kind of expect the Syndra to follow because those have been two of the biggest answers. IG threatening here and looking like they want to force GRX's hand to spend their ban on it, though, with Skarner following.
I do think that Xin Zhao is a pretty strong pick for Ning, though. It will provide some decent early game engage. Alternatively, they could just go for the Zac once more if they just want to go more towards that team fighting when they have the Kai'Sa and the Urgot already in their composition.
Yeah, split focus here. The jungler bans coming in. I feel like Invictus Gaming saving that counter pick for Rookie are so threatening. Rookie is a guy that will play the Echo. He will play a Yasuo or something like that into an early Syndra pick and absolutely go for the outplay.
And it's nice to see Ning on an early game playmaker. We talked a little bit about the Xin Zhao with that taken off the board. He then goes towards one of his next comforts, and GRX, they're just going to go for what is a big comfort pick for Candy in the mid lane as well, but also considered one of the safest blinds.
I think they've been baited, though. I think that they have been baited here, Vedius. Rookie ready with the counter pick. We'll wait and see, but as you mentioned, the Camille pickup does do a lot of things for Ning. Very early and aggressive jungler here. You can control Scuttle Crabs from the beginning.
And of course, one of the responses to that early game, the Lee Sin, is potentially being locked in for GRX. Just go back to Candy Syndra. 7 times played this year, 71% win ratio, and all eyes on the counter pick. All eyes on what rookie is going to play. Kobe.
Malzahar!
Gimme. Yasuo, Echo.
What would you want? What would you prefer?
I want
Echo in this?
I want an all-in assassin. I want an assassin here.
I think it's going to be like Malzahar or... I knew it!
Rookie!
Yeah, they have the Camille, they have Jackie Love on Kai'Sa. They're like, I have more than enough damage on my team. Let's just have a little bit more follow-up with the limited engage that they do have with Nin.
Now let's step back. If this were Caps, it would have been the counter pick, right?
Probably.
But it is IG. This surely, what I'm trying to say, surely this signals maybe a mature view of the game, because like Vedius pointed out, there are a lot of damage states, there are a lot of carries, so maybe you don't need it.
Yeah, okay, so as exciting as we're getting for assassin picks, the Galio just makes more sense. And as Trevor brings up, the mature win with the victory in mind. Galio plus Camille plus Kai'Sa here. This is absolute destruction for a late game team fight. Camille the perfect engage and set up for a Galio because Hextech Ultimatum forces whoever you catch to stay within the Galio knockup. You basically get to simultaneously kill a person and create a huge zone for your team to work off of. I think IG's composition here is extremely strong.
But I do think that GRX have the stronger early game potential. Xayah, Thresh, huge playmaking down the bot lane. Syndra, a lot of setup for a Lee Sin. Aatrox, enough damage in the top side of the map. If they can just find an early game lead against one of the best early game teams in the LPL, not only will it be a huge achievement, but it will be how they find their win today.
We're going to find out how much additional power the team composition gives the players, because just like you said, Vedius, it is an uphill battle. And to go back to the stakes to remind everybody, if Invictus Gaming win, it guarantees IG and Fnatic an appearance in the quarterfinals, and it sets us up for one hell of an exciting tiebreaker later in the day if all things go to plan. So IG maybe expected to be on the back foot in terms of champions. Let's see if they will play on the back foot, because Vedish, you've already said how you've seen Kai'Sa just step forward at level 1 for Jackie Love. And unfortunately, we do have a very brief pause just before we learn into the game.
Also, honestly, with the Camille jungle, even Galio can fight 2v2s very well, right? Galio does have good setup early on. Syndra doesn't have the damage output that she will later. So that possibility of 2v2 skirmishes breaking out is still there, even though the Galio is the more team-oriented pick for later.
But while we do have some time, I want to go back towards this bot lane of IG. And when we get into game, if we have the possibility to just look at some of the early levels, we can really try to illustrate how some of these LPL bot lanes love to play. And it's something that I kind of read in an interview with, it was one of the AD carriers from either EDG or IG, but they're like, we play against Uzi. Like, this guy is the best AD carry in the world, and we play him regularly. And then you go up against other AD carries who are practicing against him, and so we have a lot of talented AD carries in our region, and we like to play aggressively. We like to gain our own advantages, and that's why you see a lot of jungle attention invested around there. But at the same time, it's just not a style of AD carry that you're used to seeing, because of how willing they are to just get in your face, look for every favorable trade. And even though on paper the matchup shouldn't look like it goes your favor, the LPL AD carries often make it do.
Also, it's a very good investment in the bottom lane. There are 2 champions down there, so if you spend your time down there, you kind of get double for your money, having a stronger support, a stronger marksman. Also, with the archetype of how that class is actually built, that is your carry for later in the game, trying to focus on both objectives, pushing down turrets, winning team fights. It gives you so many options if you can find success in that area of the map.
And of course, it's going to be up to GRX to try and stop it, right? If all the chips and the experience and the abilities in favor of Invictus Gaming, our eyes are on GRX. As you can see on screen, we do have a pause. PK has reported a mouse issue to our referees, and the technicians and QA team are busy working with him right now.
I don't think it works, Trevor.
I mean, have you tried plugging in and unplugging it? That's what the guys are doing while they're investigating that. We've talked a lot about IG. Expectations are very high for IG, but again, we need to see what GRX are going to do and how they're going to step up.
And when you're looking down this composition for GRX, The difficulty level seems a bit higher, right? Their engage comes from either Aatrox literally seeing someone by themselves, popping ult to get the move speed and trying to run at them for a pick. But other than that, it's skill shots from Thresh or Lee Sin making a crazy insect play, right? So it's not going to be as reliable for GRX if they don't get this early game lead. That's what they want to do. If they can get control of vision, though, early on, that could be where we see success for them. Lee Sin creating plays, having Fog of War to get long-range Syndra stuns into Thresh hooks off. Those can be very devastating picks, so you can definitely snowball with this composition, and they do have the damage output to back that up.
And that's why pressure kind of falls on Empty with the Lee Sin. We saw what Broxah was capable of doing on the champion, and expectations now fall on the jungler of GRX to be able to make these opportunities happen, because in terms of individual skill, you just kind of look at these LPL players and they're considered the trident for a reason. They're able to carry through their bot or through their AD carry, through their mid laner or their top laner. And JackeyLove has demonstrated multiple times how talented he is. Rookie is regarded as one of, if not the best mid laner right now in the world. And Duke and Shy both have been powerhouses in the LPL.
I have a question for you about Empty, because of course Empty and Bebe, the substitutes for the GRX roster, Empty played a lot of the games through play-ins, where GRX went 7-1. They come into the group stage, and they've actually played 2 of their 3 week 1 games with Bebe, which was a little bit of a surprise to us. Vetus, what are some of the benefits that Empty can bring, not only because he has more stage experience here at Worlds, but also he's been able to watch backstage for 2 of their 3 opening week games?
Well, I think the thing about Empty is just he was more willing to do stuff. And I think that's why I really enjoyed watching about him in the playing stage.
Ever eloquent.
Sounds like a great resume title.
That's it.
I'm so willing to do stuff. Give me the job.
You play with some solo queue junglers, you're just like, if you could just do anything, that would be great. And this is the kind of guy that does a lot of things. He's really good at finding early game plays, especially around his mid laner. Candy and Empty were the duo that we often talked a lot about during the playing stages, where they found a lot of their early leads. And when you have this Syndra, plenty of setup, combined with the damage from a Lee Sin, I feel like that is just one of the many lanes that they could attack.
All right, well, let's get onto the field here. Both teams have loaded in. Everybody's got their peripherals ready and completely lined up 1v1 right down the middle of the map, Trevor.
What is it, the line of scrimmage? Is
that
the
is what we call
term?
it here.
Well, that's exactly what happens. And a small traders rookie gets the Winds of War. Damage advantage, IG. Taking a look down the summoner spells, nothing too crazy. I like seeing the spell book on Urgot up in the top lane. It'll give Duke a lot of options as the game continues to play out.
A lot of options for an important game. This is definitely not a scrimmage. This is the last chance for GRX to open up this group. If IG win this game, they will guarantee themselves and Fnatic quarter-final spots. There's a lot riding on this one, and IG can't look forward to their later game versus Fnatic. They can't ignore GRX right now.
I mean, regional pride for both teams, but for very different reasons. The LPL coming in with extremely high expectations, potentially, arguably, maybe, definitely the best league in the world if IG can top their group. And the LMS, they've faltered. You know, the LMS, one of those leagues that when you expect things from them, expect high praise, they maybe potentially, or maybe fall over a little. Regardless of that fact, we're on screen. Candy with this Syndra going into the Galio. Gonna have some early shenanigans up his sleeve if Empty with that Dark Harvest Lee Sin decides to come play around. And Candy takes a big chunk to the face, but Scatter the Weak easily sidestepped by Rookie, and that's an advantage to one of the best mid laners in the world.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes you'll see Galio focusing mostly on hitting those AoE abilities on the minions. Big trade there from Rookie, also using his Aftershock. Meanwhile, we do have the early Scuttle Crab here from Ning, revealing himself on that ward. Should be the response from Empty to get the bottom one before Ning is able to transition. Plenty of river vision early on. Is going to see this blue buff invade. What will GRX do about it? Does he go for the counter or try and collapse? As of right now, he's going for the counter and heading into IG territory.
So it looks like Ning is just trying to get a bit of information as to what Empty is up to. He should know that a full bot side clear was done by Empty, and so now the jungler immediately heads back towards his blue buff, but I think Empty should be able to get this one in time.
Yep, going to be able to finish it off here. He does have Smite, finishes it. Also in Fog of War, while Ning is going to use his abilities on the Scuttle Crab. Actually, he never used his E.
Well, take a look at this. Koala's already left lane, was waiting for that hook shot to go out. Ning decided to hold the trigger, and instead he will get both of the Scuttle Crabs at the cost of his blue.
Yeah, it's very important in these early skirmishes. If the other jungler uses one of their main abilities, like hook shot, to get a stun onto Scuttle Crab, that's when you jump on them and look to try and punish them, take some health advantage, and get a little priority in the jungle. There, though, Ning not going to waste it, and even though they both saw each other, it's pretty much a reset, as we have a base from Empty to get a bunch of little pieces of Tiamat coming through, and they will meet again at the opposing blue buff.
But the important thing, good stun from Ning.
All right, take a look at this. Empty's in some trouble. Sonic with Funnest target. He's running for his life, down to 100 HP. Ning's got no more cooldowns. You can see in the bottom left, and he decides to back away. Empty has not left lane yet.
Critical as well. Candy just went for a base. So IG have full control of this area. Rookie can rotate over, whereas Candy has no teleport and is walking from the fountain.
So this is why the entire play was safe from Ning from the get-go. And what surprised me was just how Ning goes straight onto Empty rather than the blue buff, because he recognizes that the enemy jungler is there. He'd already set up the vision earlier, and he's like, okay, I know I can out-trade the Lee Sin at these early levels. I know that I have priority mid and in top lane, and if Empty tries to commit, not only does he run the risk of dying to me, but I know that my support is going to get here first. So Ning walks away without losing too much.
100% for the Camille. If you land your hook shot, you win the trade. Chasing Empty out here, making him play defensively, and now he's walking over IG vision if he wants to try and get back into this game.
Oh, this is so scary. 2v2 starting out, but IG are fully aware. Empty manages to flash away for his life, but the sweep shot comes out, and one more precision protocol.
That's the Galio setup we were talking about for the 2v2 skirmish in the mid lane here. IG find first blood. Ning is rewarded on the Camille, but Rookie taking a lot.
All right, that's a good stun. Candy may find the kill. Defensive flash. Rookie stays alive, but not for long. Candy gets the auto after chasing. Ning's going to look for the secondary kill now, though. Not a lot of mana for Candy to work with. I'm keeping my eyes on Ning. 2 seconds for hook shot, and Candy escapes.
Rookie with the overstay, and he is punished so hard. Candy strikes back.
Oh, death sentence gets caught onto Jackie Lab, but the gobble from Baolan.
And we talked about the comfort for Candy, how this Syndra pick is a really big deal for him, but we got to backtrack to how this all started off. Empty, he just wanted to get a bit of vision down. He wasn't expecting the collapse coming out from IG. He ends up losing his life trying to escape with the Sonic wave. Now, you'll see here the Rookie, he just disrespects the amount of damage that Candy's able to throw out, taking way too much harassment. Candy doesn't have Ignite, but he's able to land the stun. Now the damage reduction from his W does keep him alive, but because Candy doesn't see Ning, he's forced to use both his cooldowns to chase and secure the kill, but still a big advantage gain for the mid laner of GRX.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was miscommunication. It looked like with the movements from Rookie, he was baiting, but Ning was not right there to jump over the wall with the hook shot. And Candy, now he's level 6 on the Syndra, access to the burst damage.
And we're seeing once again the early game impact from Ning. Talk to the stats, guys, and right now in terms of kill plus assisted 15 and team jungle proximity, he is ranked 3rd among all junglers in group stage, and that just goes to show how a lot of the early game leads that Invictus Gaming get come off the back of their jungle. I
mean, we were watching it. It felt like it was the Ning camp. You know, we were following his pathing from the blue buff where he lost his Sentinel to the invade onto GRX and eventually securing first blood. Invictus are 1,000 gold up. We haven't looked too much at Stitch and Koala, but Stitch just came back to life, back to the bottom lane. And Koala's got a number of death sentences, but it hasn't equated to any sort of lead just yet.
And to just quickly touch back on the Ning point as well, because coming into the World Championship, the thing about him as a jungler was he's considered a very coin flip player. Someone that likes to play aggressively and likes to build early leads, also runs the risk of overcommitting for plays and overextending when seeing an opportunity. And that is how they often got punished. But still they had the best regular season record, and you could just go to show that their aggression was often unrivaled. And so far in this early game, it is Invictus Gaming that have already found themselves on early game.
Well, luckily for him, he is on Camille, one of the best junglers at snowballing early. The coin has flipped heads here. He was the one that got the kill credit for the first blood. this accelerates his game so effectively. Tiamat now, he can even AoE camps so that he can more quickly get in place for the ganks. That's what Camille is known for, the long-range engage.
You can see Ning just waiting in the bush then. Duke is making his way down. Caught a glimpse of Balan making his way up as well. And, you know, for a draft from GRX and a picks and bans, we were so heavily saying that GRX needed to get ahead early. This is not the start that they wanted. 8 minutes in, down 1,000 gold. They still have a lot of playmaking, though, with the Lee Sin, with the Syndra, with the Thresh. So let's see over the next 5 to 6 minutes whether or not they can find the lasso. Koala swing and a miss as Jacula very easily sidesteps.
But also just look at the state of this lane, right? It is a Thresh Xayah, a very powerful 2v2 lane. And Invictus Gaming to the ones on the aggressive. Again, they're going for an all-in because their jungler's behind them.
All right, the box comes down. Here comes Ning. Feather Storm comes out from Stitch. That will survive. But Koala forced to use his flash, and the only cost was the Ignite on the side of Invictus. Give it a few minutes, try that again, and maybe you'll get yourself a pigeon for dinner.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Ning had been waiting around so much. They decided to try and bait a little bit there. They do get some summoner spells blown. Thresh without flash now is actually a good target for the bottom lane. Maybe they return to this area and try and punish that. That's why we saw Empty come down on the Lee Sin, try and provide a little protection here. Control ward's been placed in the tri-brush.
And now we keep our eyes towards the top lane, who we haven't really talked much about yet. You can see that in terms of the Aatrox-Urgot matchup, this one not going quite the way PK would have wanted, at a pretty significant deficit in the early game. And even though he had the choice between the two, he decided to go for this one, and right now, it is not working out for them. So GRX there, struggling in top side of the map. Even though the kill was given to Candy, he is still around even, behind even in terms of gold.
And in contrast to the last time they played, Various, this is a much cleaner start from IG. Very clearly in the advantage. Ning, once again, leading from the front. He flips the coin and finds PK, locks him down. Duke will pretend that Fear Beyond Death didn't happen. And yes, the passive from Aatrox keeps him alive, but he loses his summoner spell. Invictus Gaming very, very clearly in the driver's seat and in charge. Duke just missing that skill shot means he misses the kill.
And after Empty fell behind early, we haven't really seen much of his presence anywhere. 10 minutes into the game, yet to find a successful gank. And we talked about how he had so many lanes that he could look to play around. So far, he has been unable to do it. And now that he's hanging around the top side, this could be his first opportunity.
Yeah, maybe they get a little bit of a baiting here. PK actually didn't finish his recall, so he's sticking around with low health. But I think it was mostly of, again, covering for another possible offensive move here. Maybe a counter gank. He's been waiting in the wings. Nobody going to pull the trigger, though. No mistake from IG. That's what we were talking about as one of their possible loss conditions would be going a little bit too hard and overextending.
Yeah, and of course, we keep coming down to this bottom lane. Jackie doing such a phenomenal job again. And if you look at some of the stats from the first round robin, Jackie Love's, you know, he showed up. KDA 14.7, second as kill participation amongst the highest, damage per minute first, CSD, just fantastic, fantastic performance from Jackie Love. And I really like the point that you were making earlier, Various, about how Jackie Love is regularly going to be competing against players like Uzi, players like iBoy. So when they come up against players like Stitch, there's this gravity chamber effect that allows the LPL ADCs to just perform at a higher level.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to watch, and I was very impressed with how IG played around their bot lane, especially when they went up against Fnatic. That matchup will obviously be happening later in the day, but already Jackie Love has now claimed his CS advantage once again on the Kai'Sa. I think the only champion that he's played so far in the group stages. And IG, they're very comfortable with how this game is going right now. They sit on an early gold lead, they have the better team fighting later on into the game, and they're kind of setting up Jackie Love to be that big damage dealer later on.
That's it, can confirm. 14.7 KDA, as we mentioned, 3-0 on that Kai'Sa. It appears no other team in this group has felt the need to take him off it or has prioritized other champions, for better or worse. And now Jackie Love on this comfort pick, plus 1,500 gold. His support gets hooked, but there's no follow-up.
Yeah, and as you know, great as he's been on the pick, I think Stitch is doing just fine down here. It's not like this is going to be a problem for GRX. The problem, as we keep mentioning, is this top lane, because Duke is slamming PK here, and Ning wants to make him compromise.
Well, I think the baby cage will get put down shortly, and that means PK cannot get away. Duke steps all the way forward and finds the Fear Beyond Death, grinding him to dust. Baolan with a very respect flash there, realizing And once he's devoured GRX, a death sentence could be problematic. GRX at least have a counterplay. I am happy to see this, but at the cost of a kill and tower first blood.
Yeah, Empty does go for the objective focus there, takes off the Dragon. Now he's looking mid. There's a possible Syndra setup, but look at IG. Rookie has already backed off to his strong side of the map. That's what we want to see for your mid laners. He went top side where he had his jungler, and with the Dragon alert, he knew next possible way for GRX to make a play on the weak side would be towards him, and he avoids that.
I just feel like I blinked, and there's a 3,000 gold lead. Invictus have, got CS advantage gigantic in the top lane. Ning is obviously doing well with the kill and assist and the tower bonus. And Invictus Gaming got all the tools they need to move into this mid game, and then they've got so many tools to fight and skirmish as they desire.
Exactly. Invictus Gaming have the stronger side lane. They have the stronger team fight. So the cards are in their hand, and it's up to them to play them out here through the mid game. Yes, you want to try and get your vision through the jungle and work it up a little bit more slowly, but Ning here on the Camille in a very good spot to go for these skirmishes, because Rookie is ready on Galio. He has an ultimate to back him up. Tom Kench has access to the Abyssal Voyage as well, so Thailand can even bring their bottom lane if things converge into, a 5-on-5 fight.
And of course, taking a look at the first item pickups, GRX and his Kai'Sa decided to go for that Storm Razors first. We've been seeing a lot of Rage Blades. Do you think it's a particular reason? Do you think it's preference, just how the game's playing out, Kobe?
Yeah, I always like to have the slightly earlier minded Storm Razor first. That's personal preference for me. It does give Kai'Sa nice momentum here and possible fallout for the playmaking. Currently though, Empty sneaking into the side brush, so we'll see if they can set something up for GRX's side.
Surprised that he didn't actually walk into the brush though with the sweeper. So that ward is still sitting there for IG. Stitch will take little to no damage as he gets forced away from this objective, but keep your eyes on Ning again, looking for a potential flank. The Galio is there as well. That combo is up and ready.
All right, so Duke has made his way to the mid lane. A 3-man stack of GRX is currently being dove.
Nice hook.
The Hextech ultimatum is available but not yet used. Empty finally gets locked into place. He's taken down. First kill for GRX. Here comes Rookie. He arrives with the ultimate, but Candy's coming as well. This is a party in the bottom lane. The box is thrown down. The feathers fly, and it's IG that are in trouble. The unleashed power helps set Stitch up for another. Death Sentence finds its target, and Koala helps GRX win the fight, finds a flame, ignites down Duke, but a fear beyond death means Koala concedes his life. That went about as well as it could for GRX.
GRX happy to punish that dive from Invictus Gaming. Very nice play there, hooking him back in and securing the extra kill.
Really good stuff from GRX as they finally find a semblance of life in this early game. The goal difference is still big in favor of IG, but GRX saying, we're not done without a fight.
Yeah, Stitch able to get some of the money as well. Let's take another look at how it started out. Now, this is quite nice. The hook here does force the Devour. Devour has a really long cooldown nowadays, so it's not going to be available for the secondary stage. GRX and IG do get the first kill there, and then once Rookie arrives, he actually takes a decent amount of damage, but there's the hook onto Ning. They pull him basically out of the fight. PK goes in, and Candy comes through for the execution onto Rookie. Now it's basically about the chase, and Koala does end up getting hit by the Urgot ultimate. As soon as he gets shot one more time, sucked back in for the extra kill. In the end, Duke also goes down though, so GRX, in as dangerous and poor position as they were, at least they were able to get some gold onto their carries.
Yeah, I think that's a really big deal for the squad, given that IG were kind of slowly taking control of this game. Quick show, you talked about how it's like suddenly a 3,000 gold difference after losing that top tower. That gold gap is slowly starting to close, and we can see Stitch able to do a lot of damage. You already talked about him, Kobe, how he has had a solid performance throughout the group stages so far. Now that he's sitting at 1-0-2, Candy on his comfort pick in the Syndra is 2-0-2. GRX saying that they're not completely out of this game just yet.
No, they're not. And of course, you guys mentioned during draft how GRX's initiation are based on skill shots. It's going to be Aatrox finding a target, or Lee Sin, or Thresh. And do you know what? I don't know if I've seen Koala miss very many important death sentences. In that team fight, every single time somebody needed to get caught, he helped his team out. 0-1-3 of his team's 4 kills. He's been involved in 3 of them. And you know what? They shut the top tower down. Stitch and Koala, they're pretty content to keep farming up in that bottom lane.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we've got several members converging onto Candy. As you mentioned, though, Candy's got 2 kills for himself, means completed Luden's Echo plus some magic penetration. He can definitely burst down someone like Ning here on the jungler if Ning is a little bit too careless, wastes his Hextech ultimatum and can't dodge. They do have to be a little bit scared of the possible burst.
And of course for GRX, they need a miracle. 0-3 down. If they want some magic, some Fnatic magic from 2017 to make it out, they have to win every single game and have to start here against the #1 team in the group, Invictus Gaming, who are at 3-0. And GRX, they are still behind, but we saw that team fight. There is glimmers of hope. They just simply cannot wait too much longer to try and claw back this deficit. Invictus Gaming, on the other hand, they're going to take another neutral objective. The Rift Herald's uncontested here. Ning, Duke, as well as Rookie helping out. And this is just going to allow them to take out most likely that mid turret in the next few minutes. So for Invictus, it's just squeezing the life and squeezing the freedom from GRX.
So, Ning coming in the mid lane.
Stats of the week looked pretty good, but it simply wasn't enough. Ning takes the ultimate to the face, but he's able to survive. There comes Duke with the ultimate and a very easy double kill for Invictus Gaming.
And I was just about to say, this game looked very similar to the last one, where at about 20 minutes, things looked even until a single play started to swing things in favor of Invictus Gaming, and that was the kind of play they were looking for. A good dive into the mid lane, secures a tower, and 2 more kills.
Talked about IG holding most of the cards here. They play the Camille Galio combination. That gives them not only those 2 kills, but the mid turret down means the entire map now wide open for Invictus Gaming. They're simultaneously taking Dragon and diving bottom lane.
Yes, they are, and Koala's the target. Duke will be taking him out. Kill secured by Jackie Love, in fact, as a Disdain flings PK backwards. Marlon's making his way forward. I haven't seen if he's used the Devour just yet. It's not even going to get needed. A double kill for Jackie Love, a Mountain Drake for Invictus, a tower for IG, and a 7,000 gold lead.
In quick succession, IG take 4 objectives for themselves. And then in the end there, you know it's bad when they're doing 2 at the same time. Here's the 3-man dive of the bottom side that they start out. Jackie Love putting out the damage while Duke goes in to tank the turret and play the front line.
And Invictus Gaming, it's just because they have a numbers advantage that they're able to just dance so aggressively like this. Jackie Love, he was forced to use his heal on the backline to just get out of that dangerous Aatrox situation, but pick after pick, GRX not showing the right amount of respect, and IG, they just take everything that's available.
Yeah, they had not even given GRX enough time for Empty and Candy to revive from the fountain. Those 2 guys ran as quickly as they could from the fountain to that play, and were only able to arrive to see the pieces.
If you are a Fnatic fan, you are very happy right now, because if Invictus Gaming close this game out, both Invictus and Fnatic are guaranteed quarterfinals. And the remainder of the day will be a seeding battle, and whether or not GRX and 100 Thieves can play upset. Duke has got the ultimate available. I'm waiting to see if he fires it. Has done so and activates it. And Duke manages to kill PK. 4-1-3 on that Urbox.
The other thing that Fnatic are looking at, though, is their main opponent. They're looking at IG and how strong IG are performing in this game. This is going to give them something to think about for later in the day.
And many have said that when you evaluate IG and Fnatic, the 2 that are expected to get out of this group as IG just casually start off the Baron, how hard do they dominate the other 2 in the group? Are they as strong as they're expected to be? And so far, both Fnatic and IG have shown very, very solid performances.
22-minute Baron. Rift Herald takes the bottom inner turret. The gold lead jumps to 10,000 or just shy of it. And Invictus have got every single tool at their disposal. For GRX, it's such an uphill battle. They had to find a way to get ahead in the early game, and unfortunately they didn't. From there on out, Invictus have just done absolutely everything correctly to set themselves up to close this game, to go 4-0 in the group once they take down the Nexus. And Koala's not going to find the death sentence either. It is a very dominant win here, Kobe.
Yep. Invictus Gaming now 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the Baron. Over under on how many turrets they get with it. I'll set it at like 4 more from the current
Okay,
state.
so 3 more now that the mid one has just died. 2 more once this one goes down. The Baron Empowered Cannon minions doing a lot of work, chipping away. I think 1 more shot should just about do it. 2 more turrets, and that will make you a prediction god, Kobe. Something that Vidish will never be able to achieve. I'm
Thanks,
afraid.
good one, Trevor.
All right, well, GRX fans, it is time to put your rally caps on because your best hope at a defense is at inhibitor turrets. Trying to have IG funnel through, maybe overcommit. Hopefully you could get some sort of split to the team fight, but you are facing overwhelming odds from the IG onslaught that is going to come forward because, again, their road forward is so easily paved with hard, long-range engage. Camille Galio and Urgot can easily tank turrets as well, so there's definitely a lot of safety for IG as well as the offensive power.
And it's such a difficult scenario to be in. Not only are GRX on the cusp of being eliminated from playoffs, but they also will be facing Fnatic in their very next game. So they play the 2 back-to-back. Invictus Gaming have got 11,000 gold up. They've got a composition that has got so much margin for error even without the phenomenal lead in the Baron buff. And it's just a very, very difficult situation to be in. Invictus have got 1 minute and 10 to take 2 more towers and prove Kobe correct. To chunk down the mid inhibitor, and with those death sentences not finding a target, Kobe, it is infinitely more difficult for GRX.
Yep. There's still 1 minute left on the Baron. Invictus Gaming, they were pushing in all 3 lanes, but now they've reduced it down to 2. 5 members of GRX coming towards Rookie.
All right, let's see what he can do. Starts to channel the torch, flashes forward into 3. Look at the Winds of War. They've already found Stitch. Jackie Love jumps into the backside, and it's Ning that gets himself a double kill. Fear Beyond Death pops the passive of PK, and yes, Empty finds a kill onto Jackie Love, but as it stands, it's a 4-for-1 in favor of Invictus.
Absolute obliteration from the side of Invictus Gaming. GRX, they thought they could get the collapse onto Rookie, but it was he who collapsed onto them. 4 members of IG still live, and they're looking for the base.
20 seconds left on this Baron. A couple of minions onto the Nexus turrets. Number 1 has fallen. Number 2 is the focus, and Empty is feeling empty as GRX are eliminated from playoffs. And Invictus Gaming, they're not done yet. There goes the Devour. Invictus qualify for the quarterfinals.
Confident and clean win from the side of Invictus Gaming. It all started off with Ning in the early game, really dictating the pace, keeping Empty down, and overall finding a lot of very successful plays. 4-0-5 at the end of that game.
With the first 2 games of the day going to the favorites, this sets the stage for the race to the end of the day and the rematch, Fnatic versus IG. We already know these are the 2 teams that are going to get out and go to quarterfinals, but in what order?
And the question is, who gets to play upsets? Every single group has had upset results where underdogs toppled